everybody. Welcome on back into the worst talk show on the internet. I'm JDV.
Fucking hate this show. I'm Warping.
And this is Two Fat Drunks. This is our 70th episode.
Is it really?
For sure, yeah.
Hey, thanks for hanging out, guys.
7-0. And so we're going to talk about...
Are you 70?
Not that you know of. We're going to talk about it's 2020 as we do this, and we're going to talk about the upcoming spring schedule for movies. Maybe the slash to this, or an alternative title for this episode will be: "Is this the year that Hollywood dies?" Coming up next. Hey everybody! Thanks for joining us again here on Two Fat Drunks. Before we go any further, help us stay on the air by, loaning us $1 at Patreon. Buy me a cup of coffee. Seriously, Jameson's not cheap, and it really does help us make the movies. All right, or go to our website, www.evilgeniusentertainment.com, and buy yourself a T-shirt. They're pretty righteous. We also have a couple of hoodies left.
Come on the forum and talk to us.
Come on our forum and talk to us. Okay, so I think our coronavirus episode will be, end times movie.
By the time you're watching this, you may already be dead.
Right. So this is probably coming out here now in late March. And so there's a couple of months left.
This is a post-apocalyptic episode.
It's the post-apocalyptic.
Right.
This is the optimistic
in the apocalypse. Go ahead.
That's right. So, okay, so let's just hit that right now. We cannot divorce the movies, publicly shown films right now from the coronavirus, which is putting a whammy on anything to do with public events, which by definition is public movie going. So right off the bat, one of the biggest movies that was going to come out this spring, we already did an entire episode about it, was James Bond, No Time to Die. Apparently it is no time to watch the James Bond movie because they have delayed the release all the way out to November.
Interesting title, isn't it?
Which they should have done right from the get-go. It's always more of a holiday film, I think.
Yeah,
it's not a spring movie.
Movies, dude. They're not. James Bond is not a movie.
Especially not the Daniel Craig.
Yeah, I can't think of a single summer.
I could see Roger Moore movies being
like A View to the Kill.
Moonraker.
A View to the Kill, you could do summertime because that's Duran Duran in it.
We're not GoldenEye. No. All right, we're already off the track. But anyway, it's been... Now, some people are saying it had horrible test screenings.
Which it did.
I don't know if it did or not.
Probably. I don't know.
I thought the trailer looked good. Anyway, they ought to be able to get it right. It's been delayed till November. The only other really major movie, let's go through it again, is not Legally Blonde 3. It would be Black Widow, right?
Black Widow is a big release, dude. Black Widow is the big test, isn't it? Can you open a Marvel movie post-RDJ?
When does it come out? Late April?
I believe it's
April 20th?
Late April, I think. Early May? Something like it's an early
It's not
summer
release.
It's
not a summer
right.
movie.
It's not really.
Yeah, no.
It's the first shot. Like, well, here
I
we
will
go.
say this. The Mummy and The Matrix both came out, I think, in 1999, and both of them were early spring releases. The Mummy was, I think, in March or April, and The Matrix was, I think, in April or May. And honestly, we say, okay, so what?
Yeah,
but before those two films, and both of those films were walloping big hits, spring was a dead zone.
But there was no expectation that they'd be hits.
Right, but what I'm saying is that for the last 2 decades, for the last 20 years, Hollywood has tried to put out its summer films earlier than ever, and this
Those
is not
movies,
that.
This is right.
This ain't that year. The only real success right now going is The Invisible Man by Blumhouse.
Right, which is interesting.
That was number one for 2 or 3 weeks in a row. It cost $7 million. It's already made like $60-70 million. It's a hit. It's a giant hit.
It looks dumber than shit too. That's what
I like it.
Me,
it's just The Invisible Man gets
dumb.
to get like the Kevin Bacon one is that way. The original with Claude Rains. They're all dumb.
Remember Kevin Bacon did Invisible?
They're all dumb. You can't be invisible. Stupid.
You can't do it.
Unless you're Predator, it makes no sense. And even that wasn't that good. Be quiet. But that's a minor hit, or even a big hit, really.
Yeah.
I don't see a lot on that list. That's
I saw. If they looked at it, I was like,
when does it come out?
May 1st.
May 1st. Okay, so that is about a month.
About a month,
and
a
a
little over
half.
a month away.
It's almost exactly a month.
And a half.
Almost exactly a
Yeah,
month and a half.
month
We're doing this on Friday the 13th. Lucky us. I swear we're not going to get sick.
We're already dead.
Are all movies dead in the water because A,
It says
they suck,
something-
and B, this
Yeah.
Corona thing?
Well, it's probably a combination.
Or
I
by
think
May
these
1st, will
movies-
20 and 30-year-olds say, fuck it, we live forever anyway, and go out.
Right.
Teenagers and 20-somethings just don't give a shit about this anyway.
Just will they
They're like
go,
booking airline flights because they're super cheap now.
You know what they're calling it? You know what they're calling it? Boomer remover. Dude, how funny is that? God damn, dude. Fucking Gen
Funny
Z.
because it's true.
Gen Z's tough, man.
They have all the bitterness.
Heads off, dude. Oh,
None of
yeah.
the even aspirations of hipsters to try to rip off other generations.
No.
They're basically nihilists.
They are walking middle fingers, dude. Every one of them.
Yeah, Gen Z. Yeah, there's
My kids included, dude. They're
give a
walking
shit.
middle fingers, dude. It's unreal.
You've left us nothing.
I know, they're like, yeah. Dude, like, she fucking, my daughter, talking about the apocalypse. She's like, it is what it is, dude. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, they've been
The
prepping.
kid's like,
They've been prepping for this their whole
right.
life.
They're like, fucking, where's the AK, bitch? I'm ready to roll. Boog.
They're like, oh, all you had to worry about was atom bombs.
Like, yeah,
Nothing.
whatever. Virus.
The internet might not be on for us, okay?
Fucking, hey, can you imagine if they were to die?
So, yeah, will it be a hit? Yes or no?
No, it's going to be a catastrophic bomb. It's going to be a we question our direction level bomb. It will be a Marvel Studios moment where like
Why? Just because it's a bad story
no,
and interest is
because
peaked, or because
it's
Corona?
Honestly, I don't think the virus has anything to do with it. I just think that Scarlett Johansson cannot open a film, and I don't think her reputation as Black Widow is going to save her here. I think it's going to be the first post RDJ Marvel movie, and I think it's going to bomb like fuck.
I think if it does bomb, it's bomb. I'm talking about it doesn't make $1. It loses movie. If you lose money as an
right.
Avenger movie, just like Star Wars, it's
If
a
your
bomb.
opening weekend sucks, yeah,
Right.
and
It's
I,
a bomb.
I get the feeling
Like
that,
if eventually 30 years from now you break even because you've shown it on TBS for the last 30 years, no, you.
but they
that's a-
won't learn their lesson because they'll blame it on the coronavirus. They're like, "Oh, sorry, man."
Yeah, I
Suck.
think that we have seen we've talked about it before.
Wouldn't it be funny if people move the release date up to correspond with the coronavirus?
Another way they can blame it on.
Just so they could say, "Fuck, sorry, man, there was a virus going on."
The fact is, the movies have been getting exponentially worse now for 10 years.
It's
2019 is
steady.
one of the stinkiest years for movies. That I don't know. I
just-
do not believe a 4-star film was made in the
I don't
year.
know.
There's a lot of
I
3.5
can't
stars,
remember how many times I went to the show.
and there's certainly no 5-star movies. Not a one.
I can't remember the
Like,
last
it's
time I went to see it.
1917 is the best. 2019 can crap out. No,
Yeah, dude, I can't remember the last time I went to the show.
no.
Like, I was just like,
So people are already staying home over the course of the last 10 years, less and less, or more and more and more, and going out less and less and less.
Right.
And this coronavirus, is
taking a
it?
bad situation.
It
worse.
does it end theatrical filmmaking because how can you justify spending $500 million on a film or 400, 300 million, a mere 300 million going forward, knowing that something like this can happen
Right.
again, and right now is still
And
happening.
your growth model is based on people buying tickets.
Right, massive amounts of
Right.
people
I mean,
showing
it's,
up. It's a bad model right now.
It's
Versus-
an anachronism, isn't it?
Versus something like YouTube that gets all of its content for free, or
Right, and you don't
or
leave the
Netflix or
house.
Amazon that's buying it.
Yeah.
That business model is starting to look pretty good right now. This might
Right.
inadvertently save Netflix.
Interesting. It'll save.
They're
Netflix.
already saying the internet could be overwhelmed by all the people watching movies in the course of the
Right,
next 2
and
months.
it's like, and it's the other thing is too. It helps out Amazon, the burgeoning Amazon, which Amazon has been weirdly losing out to Netflix, and I know it's frustrating to them because they just can't make really good content. mean,
I think The
they're trying
Expanse
their
is pretty
best.
good. I think The Expanse is good.
But boy, it's
That's
like,
one.
Are you like
Yeah.
one of 20 fans? I mean, you know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
it's
you
been
know,
on for 4 seasons.
But what
now.
I'm saying, but how much does that matter? Because they don't have to
It
worry
has
about
a-
Nielsen
No,
ratings.
it has a little cult following. Well, that's one of the things that they talk
How
about.
do you measure that?
Actually, Netflix, I think it was actually Netflix, picked up an independent film for like $20 million, some ridiculous amount of money. And you had distributors, theatrical distributors saying, that means that they have to make back $50-60 million in movie terms, at least. That's to break even, and really we're talking more like $75 or $80 million. Are they making $80 million more new subscriptions just by buying this film?
it is
And the
kinda-
answer is no.
How are they
What they're
doing it?
trying to do is save what they got, and they're throwing everything they got at. But this might save them because it might bring back drive-ins. Because who's going to go into a small little theater while this is rolling?
That
on?
is interesting because they are getting ready to open a
Drive-ins
drive-in
are
in
starting to
Monroe.
pop
Yeah.
up. Yeah, they're going to open up at least. No, they're opening up 2 drive-ins in
Maybe
Monroe.
that's the play.
Is it
but,
the return of the drive-in?
But
'Cause
is
you
it
don't ever have
also
to
the
get out of your
return
car.
of movies that are modestly budgeted?
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to
Well,
have
yeah,
to come
that's
to
the other
terms
point.
with that.
Right,
I mean,
either companies are going to go out of business, or they're going to start the return of the $20 and $30 million movie, which
Right.
is simply not made
they
anymore.
might bring back.
Either you're
this-
making a movie for 10 or less, or you're making it for 100. There is almost no middle ground right now in Hollywood.
Here's an interesting
Not
question.
none. And it's like, so that's why that's killed
This
the John Carpenters of the world.
This
That's
would
where he
work.
worked.
This would work.
What?
If you brought back the studio system. I know it sounds anachronistic, but
No, it doesn't.
dude, if you brought back the studio system, that might actually work.
That is essentially what television is. If you look
It's
at
the
Dick
studio
Wolf, he's
system.
got 4 or 5 shows.
Right.
That's just one
he
guy
uses
on
those
2 networks.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But interesting. It's interesting to think about.
Yeah,
I mean,
it should help TV. It's going to hurt movies. It's already stopped the James Bond
movies
movies
are dead. Right? I mean, they're kind of dead.
because no one gives a shit about movies anyway.
expensive.
They're
It's expensive.
awful. They cost so much money to make.
they're
They
not
cost
as
even
good.
more to advertise. And I'm sorry, but when you crap out movies like Star Wars 9 and that Ghostbusters bag of crap,
And I'm sorry, dude. I can watch mediocre movies on Netflix at home in my bedroom and
For
eat my
free.
own fucking food. Right? Yeah. Essentially. And look, I got a backlog of movies to watch as long as my fucking arm, dude.
Right.
And I got no. I don't care if they're shit. I mean, I'm rolling the dice anyway. This is a lot cheaper for me to roll the dice in the house. I can stop it up for 5 minutes, flick something else on. Beat that.
these
You're not.
TV has already essentially killed comedies. Say, oh, it's public correctness, political correctness. No, there's still some pretty funny new stuff that happens on the internet all the
Right.
time, but it's made for Amazon or it's made for Netflix. Like Netflix's
Jeez,
speciality, it kind of is comedy. They do pretty good in comedy.
They certainly seem to have their fair share of specials.
They-
and
they-
that
they-
puts them a step up because people talk about it, and that's ultimately what it is. If you're not talking about it or memes aren't being made about it, then is it
Right
there?
now, like sports. Do you want to be heavily invested in any kind of sports team right now? No way. And
no, dude.
how movies is much worse than that because at least sports you can play the game to an empty stadium and then the TV because the TV is where all the money comes from anyway. So that and you'll see that happen after another 2 or 3 months. Baseball
Where
will
does
have
that
to start
Where does that put like the UFC?
again.
which-
You just have to have them
I
test.
think they're advantaged because they don't
Sure,
care
because they
about
don't have to
their-
have a crowd.
They don't care about that crowd.
You can have a very
right?
small
That
crowd.
Very small.
We-
It doesn't
everyone
matter. You're
just wants to
watching
see
the
the fight.
fight, dude. Right. And that's on
And boxing,
every
too.
Buffalo Wild Wings in this country.
And boxing has been on
Well,
a
exactly,
huge
right,
upswing
yeah.
because the talent level of boxing all of a sudden there's
It's-
some
it's-
amazing
there's some fucking-
boxing
dude,
is
the Tyson
back, dude.
Fury fight, man. Holy sheep
And
shit.
every time that fighting is free on Fox, watch it because for some reason they just fight of the century just pops
Damn
out
good
of it. I mean they're
boxers, too,
fighting
man.
hard. They're
It's
fighting
actually
for
a
their
pretty
money.
good age for boxing. I agree with you.
Well, why are we talking about this? Well, because
We're drunk.
we're hammered.
Yeah.
No, it's just it's something that you rely upon a live audience for.
Right.
Like pro wrestling's in big trouble right now.
Yeah.
That's a
WWE.
that's a $1 billion industry, and it's
They
in
rely on big
big,
crowds. It's,
big trouble.
It's arena.
and movies are no different. Like films, the film companies that are totally aimed at theatrical releases are in big freaking trouble
Because
right now.
also here's the other part of that. It's long form entertainment. You got to hold somebody's attention for more than an hour,
All right, so
and they can't turn it.
let's wrap the episode up like this. So, as we film this, it's Friday the 13th in March
Evil.
2020. The coronavirus has shut down vast sections of our society. I mean, literally, the NBA, NHL, all been canceled, and XFL's been canceled. MLB baseball has canceled. The NCAA tournaments have canceled. Right? And now we have some big Hollywood movies coming up, like Black Widow. Right? So, when June 1st rolls around, and one St. Thomas Cruise and Top Gun 2 comes out, is that when everyone finally says, fuck it, I've had enough of being inside my house, and comes out and makes that movie a $1 billion super hit? Or is it so crazy bad that not even Tom Cruise can save the world? I'm betting Tom Cruise's Top Gun will shatter records, and it could even save Hollywood.
I believe in St. Cruz.
Yeah.
I believe in St. Cruz. And I will probably go see Top Gun.
I'm saying everybody in the world is going to, because
They'll
by
want
June
that.
1st, everyone will be so sick of this
This
shit.
bullshit, right? And plus, we'll have it under control by then anyway. It'll be fucking a memory. We'll get it under control.
No, yeah, it'll
and
still
then
be-
we'll want to go see
Well,
fucking Top Gun.
And by whatever comes out July 4th, that'll be even a bigger
Yeah.
hit, because people will be like, oh my
July,
God, yes,
bitch.
4th of July would be
America! Fuck
Yeah, right? But right now, it's going to hurt a whole lot of movies back. Black Widow's going to flop. I think
Yeah,
it's a
it's gonna
combination of
die.
what you say, that
Yeah.
we have fatigue from superhero movies. We definitely have Avengers fatigue. And also,
And
I don't care about her.
she's
And guess what? You're just another 10 years older than you were when it started. And were you really that hot or great of an
Not
actress?
really a superhero.
You're banging Colin Jost. How great can it be?
Thank God for you. I mean,
Yeah, and what is her superpower? She just shoots a gun, right? She's not even as good as Bucky, right?
Yeah, she's not actually.
Sexy Bucky. And any chance that movie
You're
had
liking it, the ass, Billy.
is going to be crossed by this Corona thing.
Corona.
And I do think it's going to it's going to shake up Hollywood. I really do think that, because
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think that you're
Even-
gonna see some changes, dude.
especially if Tom Cruise's Top Gun 2 does not save the summer.
But
Because
that will only save one of them. I mean, these.
but it
movie
would at least
studios
set
been
the precedent for people to start going back out to the movies.
Okay, you're right. Will St. Cruz save drive-ins, but not necessarily walk-ins?
I think, maybe the name of the episode should just be "Can Tom Cruise Save the World?"
St. Cruz save.
Because I think spring's done, man. I think it's
Yeah.
all
Black
the
Widow's gonna die. No one is talking.
Legally Blonde 3. Are you really going to risk getting the plague by going out to see Reese Witherspoon in Legally Blonde 3? Come on!
Legally Blonde 3 is 10 years too late. Like, how old is Reese Witherspoon? Not to be a fucking dick here, but come on, honey.
Terminator
you get over
deserves a
30, you're
third
not
movie,
worth
not-
shit.
not
This,
yeah,
this-
come on.
You're not worth shit in this company, dude. Sorry. This is Hollywood. And look, the uglification of Hollywood is not sitting well with people. And these things are bombing too, dude. You gotta drag out Reese Witherspoon? Oh, God. You want this, don't you? But no, dude, it's not gonna work. Black Widow's gonna
Hollywood's in trouble. They're in trouble, and they better hope that something like Top Gun 2 rides in to save the day.
You pray to St. Cruz. Convert. Confess your sin.
I'm going to say he does save it. Combination of people want to see that movie, and people will be sick of the thing.
And to speak against St. Cruz
It's not right.
is blasphemy.
Well, so this has been our 2020 spring prediction, which is even more grim than normal.
Just out. But God bless you.
Hey, thanks for watching. Please go to Patreon and throw us 50 cents if you can. I don't even know if you can do 50 cents, but if you get a quarter, hell, I mean, frankly, a dime. I'd take a dime.
And pray.
I'll work for a dime. You know, go to evilgeniusentertainment.com.
Pray
Buy
to
a
St.
snazzy
Cruz
shirt like that's
for your forgiveness.
two drugs. That's not very classy. I mean,
Perhaps St. Cruz will forgive you.
like, subscribe, share. Love each other. And until next time, mwah! 1 month, dude.
Yeah.
That's how long my children are going to be with my wife in this house.
Dude, I'm just going to comb the
They're all going to be dead,
I'm going to
dude.
comb the papers waiting for the article.
She's gonna go full Nicholson.
Triple homicide today in Dundee.
One for you. One for you.
The murder weapon was found at the scene. The badly decomposed bodies of 3 Michigan residents today were found in the basement of a mad woman.
She's gonna go full Jack Nicholson on his little
She's
bitches.
gonna go. She's gonna go. Give me the pen. Give me the pen. I said,
Give me the bat, Chad.
I'm not gonna hurt you. You didn't let me finish my sentence. I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains in. Bash them right the fucking windy. Jesus Christ. We're gonna attack it and decide whether Danny needs a doctor.
Yeah.
What should be done about Danny? I think you have some very definite ideas about what we should do about Danny. Your mom and dad know about Tony.
Be sure to visit evilgeniusentertainment.com for exclusive content, swag, casting call news, and much, much more.